You're listening to ROCKWiRED.com, online radio that rocks.
Hey kid, rock and roll, rock on.
From ROCKWiRED Sound in Albuquerque, New Mexico, of all places, this is ROCKWiRED Radio Profiles with your host, Brian Lush, exclusively at ROCKWiRED.com. Today, ROCKWiRED gives it up for BONZ and their debut album, Broken Silence. Stick around for more. ROCKWiRED Radio Profiles is powered by ROCKWiRED Media, LLC, a limited liability company. Please stand by.
That blue jeans, Steve McQueen, prettiest boy I've ever seen. See him shake on the movie screen, Jimmy Dean.
Welcome to the latest edition of ROCKWiRED Radio Profiles, exclusively at ROCKWiRED.com. I'm your host, Brian Lush, and the music is out there. And today we're giving it up for the band BONZ and their debut album, Broken Silence. ROCKWiRED had a chance to speak with guitarist CURT TAYLOR of BONZ regarding Broken Silence, and here's how the interview went.
Broken Silence is going to be out very soon. It's going to be, we're just a couple of weeks away from the release. So what's all going through your mind about having it out there for people to listen to?
It's kind of neat 'cause it's taking a step back and seeing where we've come from, even since the last time we talked with you. It's pretty cool. There's a lot going on, so we're keeping busy, but just the fact that it's coming out and we're able to share it with everybody, and it's coming out on a decent scale, some great labels. It's pretty cool.
And this is being released by Pavement Entertainment. So talk about the relationship between the band and Pavement. I mean, this is a step in the right direction, I think, if you've got Pavement backing you.
Yeah, Pavement's a great label. Those guys are really cool, and they've been real supportive. To put out records, everybody obviously does it all the time. To be able to put out the record with a great label, is just something beyond our wildest expectations, and like I said, we're thrilled to death.
Right, and so did work on Broken Silence start around the time that I interviewed you last time?
We had done some recording, and we got a couple songs done. It was long before any kind of deal was struck or anything like that. So that's I'd say we were maybe a third or something of the way done when we had spoken last time, and like I said, it was just on a much smaller and a much more local scale.
I see. And who all helped you guys behind the mixing board for this album? Who helped put it together for you?
Actually, the first set of recording we did was with Josh Hack there at Virtuous Sound Studio in Canton, Georgia. Then we finished it up and did the rest of it with Tim Lau on the porch in Orlando. And each of those guys were real cool and real instrumental to the sound of the record. But it's just been very, very fun.
And talk about some of the live shows that you guys have been doing lately. I mean, what songs off of Broken Silence are are you noticing that are getting the most applause or most reaction out of?
I think the biggest reaction we get is obviously to the song Broken Silence. It's made up almost entirely of Stuck Mojo song titles, and it's kind of BONZ's answer to how everything went down with his dismissal and parting with the band, some years ago. So I think that's the one that gets the biggest reaction, and makes people pay attention a little bit. And honestly, it's just real smart the way he wrote it.
Right, and that was one of the major things brought up in the last interview with him. But I mean, for a little bit there, I thought I saw something about him and Stuck Mojo doing something, or did I miss that, or did I misread something?
They did a reunion show just last month. Got a couple more coming up.
Oh, okay.
You know, actually, and none of it was planned, and obviously, long before Broken Silence was ever released or anything like that. So, you know, time passes, things change.
And, you know, it sounds like, you know, you and BONZ himself are sort of like the Mick and Keith of this whole thing. So talk about, you know, the creative process between the two of you guys in getting songs together and all that sort of thing.
A lot of it is just based on feeling. You know, we have the wherewithal to realize and develop songs, and then if they work, you know, we keep going with it. If it doesn't, we don't. But everything, you know, gets a shot. We don't have a whole lot of ego in this band or anything like that. So, you know, we're not afraid to try other people's ideas or, you know, get input from wherever. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to sound like us anyway.
I see. And talk about the other members of the band. Tell me who they are and you know, what it is you think, you know, they bring to this thing.
No, I mean, the band is the same. Well, I guess we've been a little different since the last time we spoke to you. We got ERIN STAGG still playing drums. He's kind of been
okay.
with us since day one, and yeah, he's a monster. And personality-wise, he fits the band just perfect. Right now, in addition to BONZ and myself, we've got, you know, Don Leslie playing bass, and he jumped in and just felt like a glove. He fit like a glove. Learned the stuff and knew the material real well. And when we were playing these songs live, just, you know, again, it fit really well, and that's the tough part. It fit in with this band, you know, on a live basis, because we're not your ordinary rock band. Things are a little bit different, just groove wise, feel wise, and stuff. And you know, he got it, and I think that translates.
And from the album, what songs off of it stand out for you the most, and why?
I really like how Broken Silence came out, and I really like how God Shine and the specific singles came out. Each song kind of has its own story. Each song I can remember the recording process and remember some specific interesting little things that happened. So, you know, we have a unique perspective on it. But yeah, like I said, Broken Silence, God Shines, and Mr. Grin, those are the ones that stand out to me, you know, right off the bat.
And with the release, what are the touring plans for BONZ? I mean, where's this whole thing going to take you?
Hopefully everywhere. We're kind of at the mercy again, being connected with Pavement and Eternal Sound Records. You know, we go where they tell us. We're grateful to have, you know, such cool companies behind it, and they're pushing it and putting us on the road. So right around the release date, which again is 2 weeks away, we should be able to make some cool announcements and, you know, let people in on a couple of secrets and a couple of things they're working on as far as the extent and the bands that we're going to be touring with.
I see. And since, you know, joining forces with BONZ, I mean, what's been the biggest surprise for you being involved with this project?
Biggest surprise? I'm not sure, because again, when you know what you're dealing with, you don't get too surprised, and BONZ and I go pretty far back, but just how we're able to get to the spot we have in a relatively short period of time. You know, getting the respect and just, you know, people digging what we're doing. That's probably been the biggest surprise, because a lot of times, you know, bands just fall on deaf ears and don't even have the opportunity to be heard. We're real grateful for the opportunity to do that.
And what would you like people to come away with after they hear Broken Silence?
Just go in with an open mind, come out with an open mind, and, you know, hopefully like the material and groove with it. have some fun with it.
ROCKWiRED had a chance to speak with the frontman, BONZ, regarding the new album, and here's what he had to say.
Well, anyway, great to hear from you again, and I was wondering, the last time I talked to you, there was still some conflict between you and Stuck Mojo, but now it looks like, things have been mended. Is that true?
Right. There was no conflict between me and Stuck Mojo. I just told you last time that what had happened. There was no conflict.
I see.
I was just telling you that we hadn't spoken a while. So no, don't drum up something that ain't true now. Okay.
Okay. All right.
No, it's just we hadn't spoke. What
I
I'm saying?
see.
That's the only thing. That's what it was with me. But no, we're fine, man. We had a meeting of the minds and we talked about it. Everything's it's gonna be what it is. Work in progress. You know what I'm saying? But we can all agree to disagree again.
Got you. I see. But in the meantime, you got Broken Silence coming out in a couple of weeks, and tell me.
I won't lie, I was pissed. No, you were right. I was pissed. But over time, you let shit go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We get older, and you just say your prayers, and you just let God handle it. You know what I mean? He brought us back. So.
I understand. But in 2 weeks, you guys are going to be releasing Broken Silence. So tell me what's all going through your head about that. I mean, how excited are you to get it out there?
Very excited because, it's, like I was telling you before, this makes me viable. I got my deal, you know what I'm saying, with me and Kurt. So, finally, people get to hear me outside of Stuck Mojo. And that's just been a blessing in itself also, so I'm just excited, man. I want everybody to hear me outside of what I used to do.
Right.
And it's a chance for Kurt to be heard by the world, because I think Kurt's an exceptional individual as a person, as a human being, and as a musician.
Yeah, and talk about that partnership between you and him. Like I told him, you guys are kind of like the Mick and Keith of this whole thing. So describe the camaraderie.
Well, we became real cool when we did that project, Killer in the Workplace.
Yeah.
Because, he gets to see somebody else, the originator of the craft that they were doing in Promenade 55, you know what I'm saying? And he gets to see another black person put in work that ain't fucked up. I guess his old singer kind of jaded him, you know what I'm saying? Some of the other people he'd worked with in the past being men of color, kind of fucked up. So, and I had seen a guitar player like him before, a black guy. Most black guitar players that I had met over the years were square. I won't lie. But then some of them weren't as good as Rich, or as good as some of the other talented people I've been around. So he's the first black person that I come across that's serious about his craft, and he ain't a joke, and he's a cool motherfucker on top of it. So we just took to one another, man. We both come from we lost our mama's syndrome, you know what I'm saying, and we were both mama's boys. So that was another thing that we connected on. And there's some other things, too, that we connect on, just worldwide view, just how we look at the sport of rap rock, rap metal, and we want to do something, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to make a mark, I want to leave a fucking stain.
Right. And let's see, and from Broken Silence, what tracks have you the most excited? I mean, what songs are you really anxious to have people hear and go, wow, about?
Oh, boy. Bad Love. It's a kick-ass tune, man.
Mm-hmm.
Bad News is where I'm singing a whole lot more. Excuse me, I hate saying all the time, and I even know how to speak, and
I know you can, and I can edit it out, so no big deal.
Yeah, thank you. Sour Diesel, Sinister Grin. Those are songs that, man, you know what, dude? A lot of folks are gonna trip because I think I'm well-rounded as a vocalist or an MC or whatever you want to call me. But I'm doing things I haven't done before. So it's pretty much mostly all the songs. The Sinister Grin is something that came up, one of the last songs we wrote, and it's the most talk shit thing because it's some people that it's not even directed at the people that people think it is. It's other folks that I know that are already out there that have never ever reached back and asked any member of Stuck Mojo to guest appear on their records. See what I'm saying? And we used to put other people on our records. So it's kind of funny how, you know, the favor never came back for whatever reason.
Right.
Again, some of these folks treat us like, you know, like we ain't really nothing. And it's like, well, without us, a lot of y'all motherfuckers wouldn't have got on, period. See what I'm saying? But I never said it. I've never, ever said it. So this vehicle with BONZ is giving me a new platform to kind of be a little more opinionated, not cocky or egotistical. I just want to say some things that hadn't been said yet. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, I do understand.
You know, and at the same time, I got to tiptoe. I can't be too volatile. I can't be too on. But I can't hold my tongue no more, B. I really can't. At some point, you know, like I got some cats around me to go, when are you going to really say some shit, BONZ? You know what I'm saying? We sit here and we talk and chop it up. But why don't you go ahead and spit that shit like you really want to do? So this vehicle with CURT gives me the opportunity to really spit like I want to spit. You see what I'm saying? And say some things that I haven't said before. So when you hear Take It Personal, you hear Sinister Grand, just know it's directed at some folks. It ain't just some old general bullshit-ass egotistical rhyme. Now, when we get to songs like Come Over Me, that's something personal, you know, that a lot of people are going to be able to identify with. Sour Diesel is just me spitting knowledge, you know. I'd gotten away from that when we were in Mojo as time went on because we just couldn't agree to disagree on some subject matter. Boy, I'm stoked, man. I really am.
You got good reason to be. It's a great album, you know. I mean, CURT gave me the MP3s to listen to, and talk about the other members of the band. I mean, how, you know, I mean,
Erin. Okay, I'll just tell you something. Erin is a whoop ass drummer. Period. He comes from the West Coast, the LA type scene, and he plays metal with one kick drum. No kick, no pedals.
Wow.
One pedal, one kick drum, and he could cover Stuck Mojo songs. So he and CURT helped me. They helped round me as a vocalist because when we did the reunion show, Stuck Mojo, they were impressed with my performance. You know what I mean? And I played with a chip on my shoulder just to prove to everybody in them that I hadn't lost anything. If anything, I gotten better. Stuck Mojo was my first band I ever did. That's the last thing I did in my life as far as a career move. You know, went to high school, went to military, went to college, did the white collar thing, did all that shit. And so music was my last thing. It's actually the first thing I did growing up, but it's the last thing I went out to try and conquer. And so Erin is a whoop-ass drummer that helped me grow because he didn't play what I normally used to playing, metal. You know what I'm saying? Which is straight ahead on the 1, on the 3, and we create a pocket. This cat plays on the 2 and the 4, and he plays in pocket and still rips that shit. So they helped me grow as a vocalist, and I had to learn, I had to retool myself, you know. Don is a kick-ass bassist. We finally found somebody that can hang, that ain't no, you know, tap out, or had grandeur illusions of whatever, grander thoughts of, I'm with BONZ, Stuck Mojo, we're going to be automatic rock stars. No, sorry, that's not what's going down, guys. You know, that's what the false premise with a couple of bass players was. Then, you know, you had other bass players just thought they were better than what he was doing. Well, power to you. You know, go do your thing. I can respect that. So we have a good rhythm section. We have a great band. I think we just got a review saying my band was well rehearsed, which is, wow, I had to go, woo, okay. But at the same flip, they say that we're new metal, and then in the same flip, you'll see folks that say rap rock is dead, da-da-da-da-da. And let me tell you, man, I don't know how a sport could be dead when it doesn't even have its own award. We don't have our own award for rap rock category at any level, which I think is an atrocity at this point, and that gives me another mission to go out and try to make a statement with what I'm doing now. You see what I'm saying? I got more fuel for the fire. So yes, an angry man is still angry, and I always find something to speak on.
Right, and in live shows that you guys have done, I mean, what songs have sort of gotten people going the most that you've noticed?
Bad News, dude. Fucking Sour Diesel. Those are songs that girls get into. Like a lot of women like our shows and dance, which is, you know, a change of pace for me. Because usually, you know, at Mojo, it's just motherfucking put the pedal to the pedal, go 10, you know, 0 to 60 and, you know, 90 the whole time. I mean, with BONZ, it has hills and valleys. You know what I mean? We'll slow it down with Boys, Sour Diesel, get back in your ass, you know, stuff like Comes Over Me. We also have other tunes that we play that we're playing with Killing the Workplace. So I said it's pretty extensive and long. So, you know, with this band, it's more groove oriented. It does have its heavy moments, so the audience can get into the total show. You know, so it's a good time. It's definitely a good time.
And what would you like people to come away with after they hear Broken Silence?
They heard a complete record from beginning to the end, from 1 to 10. They heard song after song after song, not space fillers. Sorry, not space fillers. They heard song after song after song, and that they actually got something out of the material that they heard from each tune. That it has a kind of a sort of theme. You know, it goes from, you know, some egotistical stuff to some heartfelt things, some real life situations, and, you know, it's just, I try and tell the story of reality through the eyes of me and stories of others.
Check out the band at their official website, www.bonzband.com.
Rock on, rock on. Hey, hey.
That's going to do it for this edition of ROCKWiRED Radio Profiles. A special thanks goes out to BONZ and to CURT TAYLOR for their time and, more importantly, the music. Also, a special thanks goes out to Shauna O'Donnell of Pavement Entertainment. For ROCKWiRED, I'm Brian Lush, and remember, keep your eyes forward, never look back, and make it up as you go.
Rock on.
ROCKWiRED Radio Profiles is powered by ROCKWiRED Media, LLC, a limited liability company, and is available exclusively at ROCKWiRED.com. Online radio that rocks.